Last month, the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia was forced out. President Trump then posted the message behind me asking about prosecuting James Comey. You then appointed a new U.S. attorney who within days secured an indictment against James Comey. That social media post behind me saying, "What about Comey?" was directed to Pam. Are you the Pam that the president was referring to?
I'm sure I was.
So
think about this. When a president can publicly post a suggestion and within days a federal indictment follows, what message does that send to the public? Does it show strength and accountability? Or does it hint at a dangerous new reality where legal action can be triggered not by evidence, but by a single social media post? And here's the bigger question for you watching at home. If justice responds to political pressure, then who protects ordinary citizens when power is abused? The senator's tone carried a deeper implication. It wasn't just about James Comey. It was about precedent, about setting a tone where the highest levels of law enforcement begin to function in sync with political emotion rather than legal standards. And that's exactly why this moment matters, because if the line between justice and political agenda gets blurred even slightly, it opens the door to something far more dangerous, normalized political prosecution.
President Trump's new border czar, now border czar, Tom Homan, was videotaped taking a bag with $50,000 in cash from undercover FBI agents after suggesting he could help with government contracts. Sounds like a bribe. 2 weeks ago, DOJ officials reportedly shut down the bribery investigation into Mr. Homan. Ms. Bondi, did you approve closing the Homan investigation, bribery?
Ask yourself, if an average citizen was caught on hidden camera taking $50,000 from undercover agents, could they simply walk away without legal consequences? Would the DOJ call it a lack of credible evidence, or would that person be in a courtroom within days? The contrast here is what makes this moment so explosive. Because the public knows one thing too well: there are rules for the powerful, and there are rules for everyone else. The senator pushed harder. She questioned Bondi directly. Did she authorize shutting down the investigation? Bondi responded with polished legal language, saying a thorough review found nothing. But that answer triggered something deeper, a sense that justice is becoming negotiable, depending on who you know and who you serve. And here's where you come in. Do you believe this was a fair decision, or do you see it as an example of a system bending for allies while cracking down on opponents? Because once people begin to believe that justice can be bought, traded, or protected through connections, trust collapses. And when trust and justice collapses, democracy itself trembles.
Senator Hirono, as I stated earlier, the Department of Justice and the FBI conducted a thorough review, and they found no credible evidence of any wrongdoing. You were also on video outside the White House protesting with a group called CASA, where Antifa members were. Does that mean you're a member of Antifa?
You know, I simply asked the question as to whether or not you approve the shutting down of the investigation, Mr. Homan. Next question. Over 1,200 rioters were convicted of charges related to January 6th. President Trump has since pardoned nearly all of them. As if that weren't enough, last month there were reports that a lawyer for the January 6th rioters met with senior DOJ officials about setting up a compensation fund like the one that Congress set up after 9/11 to compensate these rioters. Ms. Bondi, is anyone at DOJ considering setting up a compensation fund for January 6th rioters? Yes or no?
Senator, I have had no meetings or discussions about a fund.
And here's the deeper concern. You don't need to change laws publicly if you can change the people enforcing them quietly. Once you replace experienced legal officials with politically aligned appointees, justice doesn't need to announce its shift. It simply acts differently. Investigations slow down. Certain names never reach indictment. Certain files never move forward. Imagine being an attorney inside that building, watching colleagues with decades of service escorted out for reasons no one explains. Would you dare challenge a politically sensitive case after that? Or would you adapt, stay quiet, and submit to the new direction? That's how control is established, not through law, but through fear. And make no mistake, this is bigger than one department. When prosecutors lose independence, citizens lose protection. Because justice is not just about punishing the guilty. It's about ensuring that power cannot act without consequence.
So would you support such a fund? Would you okay such a fund?
Senator, you can send me the information on the fund, and I'd be happy to look at it.
No, but do you think that's a good idea to, this is what I'm getting at. Because to actually set up a fund and to have people talking with your senior people at DOJ, political people, about creating a fund, and you won't let us know what you think about that, that's pretty unbelievable.